G'day, I'm Roland Hearn, and this is a walk in the garden. Have a look at that beautiful flame tree over my shoulder there. It's absolutely gorgeous, isn't it? Let me spin this around so you can see it a little bit better. So that's what they call an Illawarra flame tree, or I've seen it called a Queensland flame tree. And some people call it a Kurrajong, and other people say it's closely related to the Kurrajong, so I'm not 100% sure. But that's the flame tree, and it's headed towards full bloom in the next few weeks. It must be Christmas time. Well, on that note, Merry Christmas. So let me show you a couple of trees in our backyard today. This is a quince tree. There's no fruit on it at the moment, but if we get in close, you can see a couple of buds. Can you see those there? There's not a lot to see. Little tiny buds. Hopefully we'll get some fruit out of it. Does make pretty good jam. We haven't got enough yet to be able to make jam with it, but hopefully this time we will indeed get some fruit. Anyway, and this is our amazing lemon tree. It is constantly producing. Hasn't got any ripe fruit on it at the moment, but that's about the first time in a year that we haven't been picking up lemons from the ground. But you can see, if I zoom in a little closer, or I turn this around, that there are some lemons on it. We had a storm the other night, and that blew off all of the buds, but there are a couple here. So it won't be long and we'll be back into full production. We've had bags and bags of lemons in our fridge from this little tree. It's quite a good one. Now this one here and there are lime trees, I think. They're not producing at the moment, but they're doing the best. They're just young trees. Over here we have a mandarin tree, and it's off season at the moment as well. But we did get a couple of mandarins off it this year, and absolutely loved them. Now, let me show you this. Naturally, the Australian viewers of this channel will recognise what this is. I suspect most people will, but this is a macadamia tree, and if I go around here you'll see macadamia nuts in profusion. Here we go. Now, I need to say this about macadamia trees. Let me see if I can find a nut here for us. Let me just grab this one. All right, let me show you something. So there we are. This is the one that I just picked off the tree, and it's got the hard green shell on it. And this one I took from the ground. Now the fact that it's got a hard brown, black shell on it, this green part will go this color, means that it's either ripe or overripe. But for most people, when you talk about macadamia nuts, they're going to know that it's that little white nut. Well, that's well and truly inside. And part of the reason that macadamias are so expensive is because it's quite a process to get to the kernel. Now let's see if I can get into these. When I was a child, the Macadamia nuts. I've never heard of. No, that's not right. That's clearly a long way. Clearly a long way from being right. I was hoping when I picked it up that it might be close, but it's not even close. Normally, this will go brown, obviously, and uh, and the it'll crack open like this one does. So let's have a look at that one. But anyway, that's the immature nut casing there. When I was a child, I never heard the name macadamia nuts. I'd only ever heard of them being called Queensland nuts or bush nuts. That's because they are native to Queensland, and you find them in the bush, typically in rainforest areas. And so these were one of our favourite things when we were kids, to get a macadamia and get it open. It's quite a process. Let me show you. Best way to get into a macadamia is with a vice grip, and you just keep winding them up until you've crushed the outer layer. But you can do it with a hammer. So let's have a look. What you try and do is you get on the end here, and you try really hard not to break your finger. There we go, it's starting to come. Look at that. Oh, how good is that? So let's have a go, shall we? Absolutely awesome. Now, one more thing. This is what I was most excited about when we moved here. These great big mango trees. The little guy here. Once again, the storm the other night knocked a lot off. We do have a couple right here. It's getting to be a good size. So we might be lucky. Last year, right when they were getting close to being ripe, we had a big storm and we lost them all. Hoping these might be survivors. Anyway, that's our fruit trees. So one more, it's our custard apple tree. And we haven't had a lot from here, but there are a few buds here. I wonder if you can see that on the screen there. Not sure, but nonetheless, hopefully we'll get something from that as well. Well, all of that tells me it's Christmas time. Christmas is probably the favorite time of year for a large section of the world. Not everybody. Of course, it's firmly rooted in the Christian traditions of the Western world, and it is therefore in that context it's most celebrated. And for some people, it reminds them of the absence of relationships rather than relationships. But ideally speaking, and for most people, Christmas is that time of year where we celebrate love, and the ultimate gift was God's gift of Christ coming into the world, and that's the essence of Christmas. But I do want to use that reality as a signifier of some of the issues that I've been talking about over this past 6 months. So remember that all the way through I've been saying that love and worth are two sides of the same coin, and our struggle with shame is a struggle with worthlessness. Well, have you ever stopped to wonder why there is so much joy around the Christmas season? It is the time of year that we actively engage as a whole collective in loving each other in ways that communicate each other's worth to one another. That is, we do special things for the people that we love. We buy them special gifts, and we are constantly doing things. We have these big meals. We gather together, and regardless of the way that we might relate throughout the rest of the year, at this time of the year, we are saying to each other, "You are valuable to me." The whole community gets caught up in that. People put up the Christmas lights and Christmas decorations, all to say that we are a part of this time of the year. This is important to us. It's valuable to us, and people love to get praised for their Christmas lights and their Christmas decorations. We love that because it says that our efforts have been valued. We'll have Christmas carol ties. We'll gather together. We'll sing carols. We'll give gifts. We'll have meals, and every piece of that is to say to each other, "You're valuable to me," and in the doing of that, we say, "I love you." And it's those kind of clues that tell us how intricately love and worth really are connected to each other, how closely they are connected to each other. Well, this past 6 months, in reality, when you look back across this 6 months of journey together, have really been about unpacking the paradigm from which we take this journey in the garden, referencing this desire to go back to that place of love and the place of peace that we all have and we all share. That's what I've been trying to do over this last 6 months. Because it is Christmas, because I'm going to be away a little bit, I am going to not do any videos over the next 3 or 4 weeks. And as I thought about it, it's going to be very difficult to stay on top of the video. So I'm going to take a 4-week break. And then after we have that break, I'm going to come back and we're going to continue this journey in the garden, building on this foundation that we've been laying over this last 6 months. It'll be somewhere in the middle of January that I return. I'm not sure exactly. I've got a couple of trips lined up. One certainly to Sydney, possibly one to Perth. And I thought I might try and start the year by reflecting from those places on a couple of the key ingredients for a walk in the garden. So keep lookout. If you're subscribed, you should get a notification that that's happening. But keep a lookout. We'll start back again in early January. And let me close off by saying this. This has been a fun time for me. I hope that it's been of some value to you. When you put all of those pieces together, it should say something about who we are as a people and what this journey of life really is that I'm calling the walk in the garden. This has been fun. I'm looking forward to the new year. Have a great Christmas and a wonderful new year. And don't forget to look forward to the future with a passion that reflects the reality that you are loved and you are valuable. Join me in the new year for the continuation of the walk in the garden. See you then.